My room's a mess and I've shoved everything into this corner so you can't really see it. It's honestly awful. Hello! So the last time I spoke to you about music was a long time ago, but a lot of you seem to enjoy it. So I'm back again with an updated vinyl collection, and I'm wearing my glasses again today because it makes me feel smart and sophisticated, but in reality it's just because I've run out of contact lenses for the month. So if you haven't seen my previous vinyl collection video, I'll link it down below and probably somewhere on the screen right now. But you should watch that one before you watch this one because I've got loads of stuff in that one that obviously won't be seen in this video. That was very long-winded. And I've written down what I've already showed you, so if I show you it again by accident, it's my fault for being stupid and not realising. So I can only apologise if you've seen it twice. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to start with these two vinyls. It's a Glam Skanks vinyls. And my dad went to go and see a Led Zeppelin tribute band, I think. And these were the support band. And he said they were pretty cool. I've never listened to them. But he got me two of their vinyls and they're signed by the Glam Skanks as well. So that's pretty cool, I guess. At the time I'm filming this video, I'm also putting my vinyls back in the boxes. So this is going to be very long-winded for me especially. So I can only apologise for the length of this video. The next vinyl we have is Last Young Renegade by All Time Low. This is All Time Low's latest album and honestly, it is so good. When I first listened to it I was like, oh, I'm not a big fan. But after listening to it for like the 100th time, it's amazing, it's great. If you haven't listened to this yet, do it, because it's just amazing. And I actually now own the Alex Lesgarth Last Young Renegade jacket, because I'm that much of a fan that I even buy their very expensive denim jackets. Does my mum have to hoover right now? You can still hear my mum hoovering in the background, I can apologise, but you know, I'm just gonna have to carry on. Here we have Arctic Monkeys' Favourite Worst Nightmare. In my last video I said that this was the only Arctic Monkeys album I didn't own, and now I own it, so I have the complete Arctic Monkeys album set in my collection. This is really good, and on vinyl the intro to Fluorescent Adolescence is actually longer and extended on the vinyl, which is cool. It sounds amazing. I thought she'd stopped hoovering for a second then, but no, she's carried on. Okay, so the next 8 in my collection, my dad only gave to me today because he's getting a Black Sabbath box set come in, so all the old albums that he has that he's getting replaced, I've ended up with. So I'll just show you those, I guess. I don't really listen to Sabbath, but you know, what can you do? We've got Black Sabbath Volume 4, Never Say Die, Paranoid, Masters of Reality, Technical Ecstasy, don't know what this one's called, but there's this one, Sabotage, and my dad's personal favourite original vinyl from the 70s of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. I really wish I could tell you more about those vinyls, but honestly I really don't have a clue. So the next one we got was a Record Store Day exclusive, and it's the Blossoms Picture Disc. It's a live album, so it's got 6 songs on it, which were done live. I don't know where. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. I'm not a really big fan of live albums, but this was too pretty to pass up and not buy. And then we have the Blossoms debut album. All of the songs that were on that picture disc are on here, but they're obviously studio versions on here. I really like this. Is she hoovering again? But yeah, I really like this album. I want to listen to it a few times, but I think Blossoms are pretty cool. They're a pretty cool band. So again, my dad's ordered a David Bowie box set, and because obviously he's going to get the new albums in the box set, I've had his old albums, except I do actually listen to David Bowie, so that's fine. So first up we have Hunky Dory, and I believe that all of these are actually originals from the 70s or 80s or whenever they were released. And then we have this one, which I think is called Aladdin Sane, but I don't really know. I only know that as Ziggy. I'm such a fake fan. And then finally, which is personally my favourite Bowie album, which is Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. This album is great. I have a friend who really likes Bowie, and their username, pretty much everything, is Hazy Cosmic. You should go follow them on Twitter and Instagram because they do amazing art. Shout out to Elle. But yeah, they got their inspiration for their username from the song Starman. Bowie says it's a hazy cosmic jive, and that's where they got it from. Next we have Busted Night Driver, which again is one of those albums that I didn't really like when I first heard it because I was so used to Busted's old stuff. However, now this has really grown on me. I bloody love this. This is great. Me and my friend Jemima have seen Busted twice. And we even met Busted. It's so cool. I'll insert the picture here or something, whatever. Yeah, this album's just it's so good. It's so much different to their old stuff, but like it's so up to date. Oh, I just love it. Next we have Blink-182 Dude Ranch. I recently saw Blink-182 with my friend Alyssa, and they played like Damn It and all that, but like they mostly played new stuff. Next we have another Blink-182 album, which is Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. And it said pants, shirt and jacket, that's not the name. Yeah, I think this is my favourite Blink album because there's just like so many classics on here, like First Date, Happy Holiday, You Bastard. I love Blink-182. And then the final Blink album I own is the just self-titled Blink-182. My favourite Blink song's on this. My favourite Blink song is called Down. To be honest, that's the only reason I bought this on vinyl, because I just wanted to listen to Down. A very expensive way to just listen to a song. Next up we have all three of Ed Sheeran's albums, plus Multiply and Divide. I really like Ed Sheeran. I've liked him since I was 10 years old. I waited 5 years to see Ed Sheeran, and it was so worth it. He's such a talented person. Next we have Fall Out Boy, Infinity on High. Like I think I said in my previous video, I really like Fall Out Boy's old stuff. I'm not a big fan of the two current songs they released, Champion and Young and Menace. Personally, the kind of music I like, I prefer all the stuff on this album. Obviously you got your classic songs on here, like Thanks for the Memories, Hum Hallelujah, Takeover Breaks Over, all of that business. Next we have Folie à Deux, which I think means the theatrics of two, but I don't know. I don't do French. I dropped languages when I got to year 10. But my favourite Fall Out Boy songs on here, it's called She's My Winona, and it's a really good song. It's great. The amount of times I've said, oh, it's just great, it's just really good, oh, I just love it. Like in my other video, you've got to count how many times I say it's so aesthetically pleasing. Like, it was, for some reason, it was my favourite word. Next we have my favourite Fall Out Boy album, which is From Under the Cork Tree. This was the first Fall Out Boy album that I listened to, and it's the album that made me just fall in love with Fall Out Boy. Every song on here is great, and you could play me a song from here and I'd know all the words, but I couldn't tell you the song titles because they're so freaking long. But despite how long their song titles are, they're very good songs. Next we have Save Rock and Roll, which I think out of the newer Fall Out Boy albums is the better. If I remember right, I think this is actually red. Look at that. Red. Next up is possibly the most beautiful vinyl that I own. It's Frank Carter with Blossom. Well, Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes with Blossom. Look at this. Like, that's amazing. It's just like so pretty. It's a funny story about how I got into Frank Carter, because when I went to go see Blink-182, I thought the support artist was called Frank Carter. So I went and listened to Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes, fell in love with it, and I was like, oh, I'm really excited to see this guy now, like, he's amazing. Turns out when I got to Blink-182, it was Frank Turner, not Frank Carter. So I was very disappointed. However, I am seeing him in December and I am so excited about it. Next we have their most recent album, which is Modern Ruin. I listened to this before I listened to Blossom, and this is so good. Next we have Foo Fighters' Greatest Hits. I bought this because I loved their Glastonbury set and I needed to listen to them more. Next we have Dookie by Green Day, which is the Green Day album that I think kind of, you know, started my love for them. My favourite song off this album is Chump, but you know, great songs like Basket Case, Long View, like they've all come from this album. Next we have Nimrod by Green Day. Time of Your Life's on here, like Good Riddance, so that's mainly the reason I bought it. Now, I don't want to sound really cliche, but next we have my favourite Green Day album, which is American Idiot. Every song on here is amazing, especially Jesus of Suburbia and What's Her Name. I love What's Her Name so much. I was lucky enough to see Green Day at British Summertime in Hyde Park this summer, and they were just phenomenal. Billy Joe Armstrong he's such a good frontman. Like, he gets the crowd going, he got people on stage, he gave away a guitar. It was amazing, it was so good. Then we have 21st Century Breakdown, which I mainly bought because Last of the American Girls and 21 Guns are on it. I like this album. I think I like it more than Nimrod. Next is the album which the Green Day tour was based around, Revolution Radio. When I first heard Bang Bang, it got me like so pumped, you know, like Forever Now and Youngblood, like they're just tunes. Next we have another Record Day exclusive, which is Gerard Way's Into the Cave We Wonder, which he made with Ray Toro. This is a song based on DC's Young Animal, which is a comic book. On one side you've got a beautiful song called Into the Cave We Wonder, and it's like just so pretty and perfect. And on the other side there's an extract from the comic read by a narrator. I don't know who it is, but it's called Poggy's Cavern, and it's like 30-40 seconds long, but it's the nicest description I think I've ever had read to me. It was also quite expensive, so I had to break the bank a little bit for that one. Next we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Mixtape Deluxe Edition. I bought this because I love the first soundtrack and I love the soundtrack in this movie too, but I have a thing for film scores. I mean, I'm going to college to do media, like I want to make films. I love films and film scores. And the deluxe edition has the film score on the second side, which is great. But my dad has the first mixtape and now I have the second one, so we kind of share them and alternate them between us. Next we have Humans by the Gorillaz. I remember when I was younger, my brother used to really like the Gorillaz. He used to like Plastic Beach. I wasn't really into them when I was younger, but I listened to this, and this like changed my mind. Like Strobe Light, that's amazing. Moments. There's one called Sex Murder Party. What more could you want? Next we have Badlands by Halsey? Who knows? I'm not actually a big Halsey fan, but I have this because I went through a brief stage where I really liked her, and I like this album, like this, I like Castle and all that on there, but I wouldn't go out my way to listen to it. But it's quite a pretty colour. It's very like vibrant blue, which is nice. Next is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. It's Harry Styles' album. Back when I was younger, I used to be a huge One Direction fan, and I was like, oh, I'm out of that now, like I've grown out of that. I listened to this just for the bands, heard Kiwi and Sweet Creature and was like, what? Like his voice is just so perfect, and every song on this album is perfect and beautiful. How has he done this? How did this come from like inside him? How did this spark? I want to know. Next we have Lady Gaga Joanne. This is a bit damaged on the sides because before I got more boxes I used to just jam them in. That was a bad move. Like Million Reasons, I can listen to that and just cry. Like it's beautiful. She's beautiful. Look at her. Next we have Declan McKenna, What Do You Think of My Car? I only bought this today, and I mostly bought it because I listened to a playlist by Sarah Basker that had Brazil in it, and I really like Brazil, and that's on this album, so I'm hoping that everything else he does is just as good as that. The little car, that's so cute. Next we have the Maccabees, Colour It In. I mostly bought this because love it when my camera cuts off when I'm in the middle of talking. Great. This album is just, it's amazing. Next from Panic at the Disco, we have Pretty Odd. Now, I really like this album because the first album was very heavy and kind of, you know, like emo. And then they made this, and I don't know why or where this came from in Brendan's mind, but it's brilliant. It's just great. It's so random. Like, it doesn't fit with anything else they've ever done, but still I love it. And I love it so much that I even bought a massive flag of this album cover from Redbubble. Next up we have Vices and Virtues by Panic at the Disco. I really like this album, even though Ryan is not on it. Because Nearly Witches is on it, and Ryan wrote it. So that, you know, that's enough Ryan for me. But yeah, there's so many good songs on this, like Memories, Hurricane, Trade Mistakes, Nearly Witches. There's just so many. It's just amazing. Like, I love Panic so much. I love them. Next we have the Kooks. I bought this today along with my Declan McKenna album. Next we have the first Royal Blood album. Oh look at that. I'm repping today. My dad was the one who was like, oh, you need to listen to this band. They're amazing. You'll really like them. And he was right. They're amazing. And I do very much like them. And we're seeing them soon too. November, I think. And I have their second album as well, How Did We Get So Dark? Like, they're just amazing. I love them so much. Next we have this Rolling Stones album that my dad's friend bought me that I've never listened to. But my dad always tells me to listen to the Stones. So I think this is like a compilation album. I'll listen to that one day, maybe. Actually, I should probably tell you, At the moment, I've got a thing going on where I'm working from A to Z, or A to W because I haven't got any Z's, on my vinyls, and I'm documenting them in my journal because I'm a loser. Like, it gives me a chance to go through my entire collection and just kind of appreciate everything that I've got. Because otherwise, I know if I didn't do that, I know that there's things in here that I'd never listen to. But because I've made an effort to go through them all, it's giving me kind of like motivation to finish now because I'm halfway through. I'm at K now. Next we have Human by Rag and Bone Man. My dad got bought this and he didn't really want it, so I had it. I haven't listened to it. I've only listened to what's been on the radio, so Skin and Human. But I like them, and hopefully I'll like the rest of his album. Next we have the Stranger Things soundtrack. I can't express enough how much I love this TV show. It's amazing. You know, like the cinematography is great. It's set in the 80s. It has the cutest little kids like as the characters. I love Finn Wolfhard. I love Millie Bobby Brown. You know, they're great. They're like 13 and they're so talented. It's amazing. Next we have Shins, or The Shins. I don't know what the album's called, but once again, Sarah Basker. If you don't know who Sarah is, I'll link her channel in the description because she's amazing. She put Phantom Limb in one of her playlists. I think it was the same playlist that Brazil was in, and I heard it and loved it, so I bought the album. Next we have The Very Best of the Stone Roses. My dad bought this and he said I could have it because I've always wanted to listen to them. I don't listen to much of them, but I listen to like all the mainstream stuff. Okay, so next we have the Suicide Squad soundtrack. Now, I have a lot of thoughts about this film, and not many of them are good. For how much I hate the film, the soundtrack's okay. I mainly bought it for the Panic at the Disco Bohemian Rhapsody cover. I kind of wish that it wasn't just the like original songs that were made for the film. I wish that stuff like Symphony for the Devil, House of the Rising Sun, I wish that was all on there as well. Next we have Take Control by Slaves. I bought this again on Record Store Day and it was only £10, so I was like, I need it because I love Are You Satisfied so much. I've seen it in sale in Rise and HMV now and it's like 20 quid, like £22. I got this for a tenner. It was great. Like, I love Record Store Day. Next we have Sum 41, 13 Voices. I'm not the biggest fan of Sum 41, but my dad bought me this because I said I wanted to like give their new stuff a go. This is becoming a theme, you know. Oh, my dad bought it. I haven't listened to it, but I've got it. Like, that's all this video's been. Next we have the first Trainspotting soundtrack. But Trainspotting is actually my second favourite film. Well, my top 3 favourite films are Back to the Future, A Clockwork Orange and Trainspotting. So I needed this. And to go along with the first Trainspotting soundtrack, I've got the second one as well. So what more could you want? Trainspotting everywhere. Next we have this Tame Impala album, which I don't actually know the name of, but I really like it, and I like Tame Impala a lot. Speaking of Tame Impala, I have this album, which is Currents, which I bought today. Again, I got into Tame Impala because of Sarah Basker, because she put them in her playlist. But they're great, like they're very indie, and I'm kind of getting into like the indie branding at the moment. Next we have the 1975, I Like It When You Sleep. You Are So Beautiful, yet so unaware of it. I still kind of prefer the first album, but what can you do? Finally, last but not least, we have Weezer with, I don't know what it's called, the Blue album? Who knows? It's got the Sweater Song and Buddy Holly on it, so that's cool. And Say It Ain't So, I love that song, oh my gosh. So, that was my updated vinyl collection video. If you liked it, you can click the like button and you can subscribe down there if you want to see more of my face. I guess I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye. Favourite worst one? Not. Start again.